Hello everyone and welcome to the indie scene. My name is HJ Tenchi and today we'll be taking a first look at Syder Arcade by Studio Evil. Syder Arcade is a side-scrolling space shooter with equal parts bullet hell from you as well as the enemies. Each stage has you following new objectives ranging from shoot everything to defending an allied ship from waves of enemies on both sides to escorting a large allied frigate through an asteroid field. Since Syder Arcade has been fully released, you may pick it up now for PC, Mac, and Linux. And as you can see right here, this is our different levels on our campaign. I'm actually going to click the road not taken, the second level. The reason I don't start with the pilot level is not because it's a tutorial, it's its own full fleshed out stage, is because it's very indicative of this type of genre, the side-scrolling shooter. It's a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but I want to point out that this game, as I mentioned just a little bit ago, has different objectives to it too. Each level is slightly different than the others, allowing for much more replayability in my personal opinion, but also the ability to have a little bit more fun with these types of games. It's not just about score and shooting stuff, although when it really boils down to it, if you want to take it that next level and hit those leaderboards, you're going to have to make sure you're getting those combos up. We do have 3 ships to choose from. We have our Dart, which is going to be the fastest ship with pretty good armor, second best armor. It'll have a nice normal pulse laser, which is kind of the basic shot of a type of side-scroll shooter like this. Also the Hyper Beam as well, the special shoot a big beam forward that can hit multiple enemies in its path. We also have the Wasp, which is my favorite. It's going to have the worst armor in the game. The speed will be a lot less than what this guy's is. It's a matter of probably, I don't know, it feels like 25 to 30% slower. Maybe not that much, but it feels about that. You can get speed upgrades, though, to help it out. And also it has a machine gun that kind of, I think, is a little bit easier to use. It can do a more devastating amount of damage, in my opinion. And also homing missiles, this is just awesome. Plus it charges a little bit faster, I feel. Also, we have the Mule, which will be the slow type of character. It's very slow. Once again, speed upgrades can help it. You will need them. And armor is amazing on this. This thing can just tank hits all day. It has a plasma gun that almost shoots out what I like to call jellyfish, and also a gravity well, which will spin little orbs around you and then shoot them out. Anything it hits will actually take a lot of damage. So it's a lot of fun if you're maybe kind of that player, but this is going to be the hardest difficulty on the game, the pure difficulty. And I'm going to go with the one that it can't take any damage. Because as always, I always come up with the best ideas. The nice thing about this game is it does have a very nice little story to it. It is not the focus of the game. In a lot of ways, I feel, even though this is the campaign, the focus of this game is going to be all about getting that high score, pushing the difficulty up, and getting better and better every time you play around. This is going to be a hard game. Do not get me wrong, but I have played it quite a bit. So as you can see here, the weapon damage is going to be up quite a bit in the bottom left under the difficulty of pure. You're the pure essence of skill. You don't need a health bar. I don't have a health bar? Holy crud, that's not good. I guess it really doesn't matter. I'm probably going to die one way or the other. So the incoming damage is going to be up ×5 compared to what is usual. Our score is going to be up ×4 compared to ×2, the difficulty under this. Enemy is going to fire twice as fast, but our weapon damage is going to be doing pretty well. So we can get our extra life again at 35,000 points. And then in the bottom right, you can see our health bar, which is the red one, which will probably be up in the top left, unless we don't have it, which I'm assuming we don't. And then also the blue bar is going to be our special weapon. Every time we charge that bar all the way up, it'll go over, and we can continually charge it until we have an amount of time when we want to shoot it. So here we go. Okay, I do have a health bar. Okay, it was just saying I don't need it, though. Alright, so this is Captain Reyes. She's going to be in the ship right behind us in the background. Pay attention to the background of this game. This game is amazing. The foreground's very important, but if you have the time, especially when I'm streaming it, to watch in the background, all kinds of stuff is going on. It is really, really cool. Also, this is probably the hardest level in the entire game. So, yeah, good times. What you can see down back in the back is it'll say defend next to that ship, the Ornico. And, well, it's difficult. The first few times I played it, I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong? I don't get it. You kind of, and what I've seen, at least in my playthrough, is if you move ahead of it a little bit, because it's going to come up to us in the foreground in just a little bit, once we get through about, I think about halfway through the stage. Press space to turn around. Okay, we can only take about 1 hit. Those are the weak enemies. This is going to be brutal. This stage especially, we're going to take damage. But nonetheless, I find that moving ahead of it a little bit actually was the best way to do it. Because you want to keep all the enemies fire towards you and not the actual objective marker, which is the defending the ship back there. A nice thing too about this game is you'll see the little cubes that I'm collecting. These are going to actually be points, but on top of the points, oh, I see you. They're going to actually give me a little bit of health, which may not matter on this difficulty. And it'll also charge up our special, which you heard was just charged, and actually saw. Ooh, homing missile. Since we have 2 of those already, it's actually going to upgrade my homing missiles a little bit more, shooting 2 homing missiles instead of 1. The nice thing is that you can continually collect power-ups that are going to make you stronger and stronger. Okay, so we can take at least 1 hit from those guys. And as you can see, now in the foreground, we have our allied ship. I'm going to collect the points for a little bit of health. I'm going to press spacebar to turn around. And I'm going to try my darndest to shoot everything as much as possible. Nice. Plasma shots are really good too. And spread. I probably should have kept... Nah, spread might not be bad. You'll see in the top left, once again, under the blue bar, how the ×2 or the X2, and that's going to be how many of the specials that we have built up. You can have, as far as I can tell, 7 or 8 at least. And what I really like about this game, too, many things. This isn't normally my type of game, but I played a whole heck of a lot of it when I was streaming the other day. And I was having a lot of fun, too. What I do like, though, is that they do have a mini-map in the top right. All of the red will either be the asteroids in this case for this level, and one of the level that has a lot of asteroids, or enemies. And you'll see the green will be the different, shoot my missiles. Yes. I don't want to get rid of the shield early, but it doesn't look like that's about to happen. But the green will actually be the different turrets on the ship that we can defend, along with the kind of the weak spot, I guess, or the main point, which where the defend icon says. Nice, we're actually doing okay. Now this is where it gets a little bit harder. As you can see, I do speed up too. As I hold a direction, whether it be left or right, ooh, that was really bad. You do speed up. So by holding it on, your character will accelerate. So for the areas where we have to defend, like the next stage, both left and right, you'll see that that's going to come in handy because I'm going to need to move from both sides as enemy spawns to protect our ship. Oh no! I should have juked when I jived. Oh, dancing references. Something I'm really not good at. But I seem to be half decent at Syder Arcade, so I'm happy about that. Alright, so that's going to be our primary machine gun up to level 3 now. As you can see, we're firing faster. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be hitting harder, but that really doesn't matter. So this is the Cyclops, which you can see in the top left underneath our buddy's health. This is going to be their health, and we're actually doing okay. We have about 40% of our buddy's health left. That's not bad. We cannot shoot it, too, which is really nice. Because I swear, the first few times when I had really no idea what I was doing and just kind of jumped into the game, I would have probably destroyed our ship. Not because I was shooting it, but because I wasn't really sure the best way to beat this level. And as you can see, as I mentioned, staying ahead of the ship a little bit pulls a lot of the enemies to you, making it a lot easier. Trust me, what I just did, you will probably not do unless you're a big, skillful fan of these games the first time. Now, don't get me wrong, the game isn't painstakingly hard, but it is going to be hard enough to where you have to learn the game. I'm actually using the keyboard right now, using the directional arrows to move up, down, left, and right. I'm using Z, which is going to be my super bar. X is going to be my main... Wow, ×5 on the difficulty. Nice. X is going to be my main shot, which you can just hold down. There's no ammo, thankfully. And spacebar is going to be flipping my ship back and forth, whether I'm looking left or right. Now, at first, it's a little awkward. I'll definitely mention that. I was going to use my controller, but my controller does work for this, but the... I don't really like inverted movement, and I think that's more... I don't know if that's a design choice on the Studio Evil's part, or if it's my controller just acting up. I'm not a big fan of inversion. I was never really terribly good at it, and I actually found out that the controls for the keyboard are actually not that bad once you get used to them. It's a matter of being able to move constantly. Ooh, that's another thing that... Okay, speed up. Very good. That's going to help me remedy the issue that I had. Because I'm in hyperspace right now, I'm moving along really fast. when you slow down and try and turn around, you're gonna have, just like anything else, it's gonna take a little bit to slow down. So don't just run in and face plant into enemies, because you're probably gonna die. You're gonna have to stop a little bit beforehand like that to turn around, because these guys are gonna shoot a lot of shots. Nice. Homing missiles 3, very, very good. I'm gonna need that in this upcoming battles. So you can see right here, we have 2 of our little ships, 1 on each side. You can see on the mini-map, also indicated in the green. I hate those things. And then we're defending, once again, a ship in the back. So this one is stationary more. It's more of a hold the location, hold a spot, which is really cool because, once again, ooh, don't run into our ship. Let's destroy our ship. Shoot. Thankfully, we can't do that. Friendly fire is not on. And it's gonna be more of like if you were playing a competitive shooter, like a competitive Team Fortress 2 game or something like that. All right. So that guy was able to deflect all shots from the front. Oh my goodness. Definitely more bullets being fired than on the other difficulty, especially even just the one right before this. So that's really cool to see this final difficulty really kick up the difficulty for those that want a challenge. Shoot. Now these little allied ships can be blown up, so you got to be careful of that. You don't want them taking too much damage if at all possible. Also, another really good tip, especially for stages like this, where it's a static map and you just need to move from side to side defending, leaving those power-ups is going to be a good idea. Whether it's weapon power-ups or just these score power-ups that are going to give me more health and special, that's going to be, oh, and that green's a repair. I'm going to leave those there. So when I start taking a lot of damage, I'm going to go back and grab them. Now, once again, we can't take a whole lot of damage with this character because this character is the weakest out of all of them. But still, it's going to be a nice thing to have. Okay, we got to get behind him. Press spacebar to flip him around. Ooh. Oh! Darn it. Once again, because I'm moving behind, you'll see that I'm moving very slowly. So you're not going to be able to pop around all over the place doing barrel rolls through the skies and getting really good results on a harder difficulty. You're going to get your butt handed to you. You do need a certain amount of strategy and patience involved, which I really, really like. Also, one more thing I want to point out. H.J. Tenchi is bad at games. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to bring you back to the main menu and show you the survival mode. All right, my friends. So you'll see survival now, which I'm going to show you. We're going to pick the Wasp once again, and we're going to play on the hardest difficulty because, well, I'm an idiot. So this possibly couldn't go wrong at all. Another thing I want to point out is that because we're playing survival mode and not campaign, I don't have all the upgrades. So this is going to be even harder for that case too. As you play the campaign, you're going to keep your upgrades and actually be able to go through and pick the last stage and make it harder. But if you pick the stage right off the bat without playing that character again, you're going to have a character closer to this amount of skill. Well, not skill. That's the incorrect way of saying it. This amount of upgrades. I'm at base. This is what the ship is always at when you start out. I'm actually going to skip the points for now because it's going to be here for a while. Alright, so we'll shoot our little guys here, and I'm assuming that it's going to slowly start escalating into, well, bullet hell, and in a terrible, terrible fashion, because the hardest difficulty with the weakest ship is probably not very, well, it's not very smart. let's put it that way. Alright, power-ups, I don't want you quite yet, as much as I love your score. Also, you'll see right above score in the top, you'll see every once in a while, whoops, as I take a bunch of damage, as I kill, oh, that's a bad area. As I take the lives of our enemies, you'll see that the multiplier goes up. And that's the way to do combos. This is one of the biggest things you'll need to learn. And it's something I'm not overly amazing at. But as you kill enemies, the combo meter will go up and up. And you'll see that by the little X1 and X2 at the top. And it'll slowly go down as time passes without killing enemies. Certain times it's going to be easier to do than others. Whoa, my plasma shot came back. Just because you have a lot of enemies on screen or just because you're killing a lot doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a lot of combo if in between that you're not doing a whole lot. So you want to make sure you're killing as fast and as efficiently as possible. Right, so I'm going to once again hold on to this. And the gunner achievement. You'll get different achievements for doing different things, and that'll add to the score multiplier. It's not like a permanent, like a Steam achievement, but it'll actually be stuff that gives me extra points. And as you can saw, Gunner 1, I can actually, by doing the same requirements again, but in a larger tier, it's going to give me Gunner 2, which is worth a lot more points. That is another way if you're also adding for, oh, yeah, that was bad. If you're going for that leaderboard score, you need to make sure that you're not only racking up the gunners, the skillful, and the pure for difficulty additions, but also those combo meters. And one more thing I want to point out that I really, really enjoyed with the game. Let's see, HJ Tenchi, bad 2. Really bad. And there's online leaderboards, which, I mean, I would assume those aren't very good. I am in the top 100 on the campaign, which I'm happy about. But there are graphics filters, which are really cool. You can actually play the game in this. Now, hipster, not so much, but the old school gray, the 2 and 4 bits are really cool. Apple, the old Apples, the Commodores, I was trying to say both of those at the same time, the Amigas, all the really cool old school games. So if you're like a big fan of these old school games from the back in the day, well, I'm just saying, look at this. Oh, it brings so much nostalgia. And then, of course, the mono, which has really nice graphics. And then the background looks amazing as well, as I've always mentioned. So, my friends, if you're interested in supporting Syder Arcade and Studio Evil, please check out the information in the video description below. Please also find them on Steam Greenlight and give them a vote. And for more indie preview and review goodness, check out youtube.com/Pixabite, the home of everything indie. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day. High scores. Let's see here. Oh yeah, my internet's out. Well, that's depressing. Have a good one, everyone.